Coming from the Caveman Studios in Buffalo, New York. Welcome to Caveman Corner with your host, Jeff.
Captain Caveman!
Thanks.
Click subscribe and the bell. Do it now!
I'm here with one half of one of the title fights of K4 on August 3rd. I'm here with the man, Richard. Rich, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Jeff. Thank you.
Awesome. I don't think I've seen you in person since like 2019. How have you been?
I've been pretty good. Still training, staying busy. COVID was, caused a little bit of gap, but definitely been training for the last couple of years.
Yeah. So when COVID hit, like obviously all the people that were at gyms all went to different gyms. I believe we were training at WNY at the same time at that point in time. And then COVID hit and everyone was training all over with their friends. And then after COVID, everyone kind of moved around. Where are you training now?
I'm training at Spar Self-Defense.
Awesome, man. So last time I worked with you, you were mostly starting to do jiu-jitsu. What brought you back to stand-up?
Well, I mean, I was doing jiu-jitsu for a while, and then I was training stand-ups, but pretty regular for the last 5 years. Definitely kind of going back to what my main interest was, focused on jiu-jitsu for a while, but ultimately just felt more comfortable on the feet, felt it was generally more effective from a fighting standpoint.
Man, to anyone that doesn't know, you're a super tall guy, and not only are you tall, you're very crisp with your striking. Your like check hook is so good. It's one of the best check hooks I ever faced, just because of your length too. It's not just how good the strike itself is; it's how good your length is. You're a very tough guy to like describe what your technique is. It's kind of like you flow around the person against you. I would say that you're a counter striker, but that's not really the truth because you're not really a counter striker either. You kind of come forward. So how would you describe yourself as a stand-up fighter?
I would consider myself a technical stand-up fighter with a Muay Thai and boxing style, I guess, to put it simply.
Awesome. I think that's pretty true. You kind of bounce back and forth between being like a super good counter striker and like very offensive from being long.
Okay.
You have a very good range control. So like when I spar you, the only way I can ever get in to hit you is just like put my head down and run in like caveman style, And I'm not sure that's just because we're sparring or it's just because I'm dumb and you don't expect it. But why is it so difficult to get in and actually hit you?
It's just because defense is my number one priority. I said I was a technical striker. The concept behind that, in my opinion, is I always think defense first, get out of the way, get in a better position, and then land my strikes. But that said, you said, I go forward because, I feel safe enough because I feel my defense is effective. So after they're done throwing their shot, I go ahead and oftentimes, when I'm sparring fighting, guys slow down a little bit. Their offense is not so good, and then I move forward and hopefully, get the job done.
Yeah, I would say that's you in a nutshell. You do, man. I wish people could see how good you work. So I described you as like a slow fighter, and I don't mean that as like I don't mean it as a disrespectful, and I don't mean it as oh man, you got some love already. Great response, defense and position minded. I did not mean that as an insult, and I tried to clear that up in the podcast with your opponent. When I said slow, I don't mean like your hand speed slow. I don't mean your foot speed slow. I don't mean that like anything about you slow. I just mean that like a lot of fighters really rush to get the job done. They come in and bah, 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 bah. Like you have a pace that is very Richard Zhang style. Like you don't fight the other guy's fight. You're always fighting your pace, which is slower than most people because you're not jumping in. You're not throwing a lot of punches. But we do punch, it lands. And I don't mean you have slow hand speeds. For anyone that's ever sparred with you, I can promise you, they don't think your check hook is slow. They don't think your kicks are slow. That's not what I meant when I said slow fighter. And
Yeah.
I tried to explain this in the last podcast as well. So when I say that you're a slow fighter, I don't mean that your foot speed is slow. I don't mean that your movement is slow. I just mean that your style of fighting is like very slow. It's very technical. You don't really have anyone to compare to because it's kind of very unique to you. Um, and I don't think I really spar too many people like you, to be honest with you. And I think it's going to be difficult for anyone to really fight you.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's true.
It is 1,000% true. I'm not like bullshitting you. I'm not trying to sell a fight. I'm not bullshitting, all the other people. Like your movement is really good. You're hard to like angle off in the corner. You're hard to get against the wall. You're hard to do a lot of stuff too. The thing is, sometimes you don't put out a lot of output because, like you said, you're very focused on defense. So when I say like a slow fighter, I just mean like you're slow out of the gate, building up into like your striking, and it's a strength, but like it can be a weakness too, in like small, shorter fights. Are you fighting 3 or 5 rounds for this fight?
I was under the understanding that it was 5 rounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that actually like plays a huge, like is really going to help you because I was telling, your opponent Todd, like how you fight in the first round, you're going to be fighting that exact same pace in the fifth round. Nothing drops off. You don't change. You don't get tired. Like you don't fight a style that lets you get tired. Like the advantage of fighting the way that you fight is you don't get tired and you're still as sharp in the fifth round as you are in the first. And that's very difficult for people to deal with.
Well, I mean, to be honest, to be perfectly honest, I expect to be sharper in the fifth round than in the first. I hope that if it gets to that point, I'm going to empty out the gas tank and hopefully, hopefully respectfully, maybe finish the fight.
Yeah. Obviously, you're going to be sharper because you learn the timing too. Like you're getting the guy's timing as you fight.
Yes.
Yeah. So like it's not. I don't think that your speed improves. I just think that your accuracy and your timing improves. So you hit them more. But like you're still like, all right, you can come in, bang bang, I got you. You're gonna run away. I'm gonna catch you when you're backing up. Like you fight the pace of your opponent, and I think that's a really good thing. I don't think we've seen that too much. It's like a real legitimate Thai style of fighting, and I don't think we've seen that too often in K4. We usually get two guys that are either really going for like Sean Doyle and everyone Sean Doyle fights. Every fight's like he's coming out there like throwing 3,000 elbows, right off the jump.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
that's not going to be your style of fighting. Your style of fighting is going to be a little bit more slow, a little bit more relaxed, like the Thais do. Like the first round, you feel the guy out. Second round, pace picks up. Third round, like you guys are really going, and I think you're gonna hold that pace. And I don't think you're gonna get tired.
Yeah, and no problem with that kind of strategy. Hopefully, I'll adapt, to whatever Todd, presents, and hopefully, like you said I'm a little slow. I use the word patient, right? I see what he does, see if there's anything that I can capitalize on, and then hopefully, take over the fight if things go my way.
Yeah, I would. I love that you're very humble too. You're like, things go my way. Do you think you're gonna take over the fight?
Yeah, I think so. Respectfully.
Yeah. I heard. Do they have Thai boxing at Spar, or is it just Krav Maga? Can you tell me a little bit about like what's going on in Spar?
Oh no. It's definitely it's huge at Spar. Like it's definitely not like it's not a big competitive group in terms of this is kind of our a coming out party, if you will. Like me and my teammate Evan, we've been training real hard for this. We're the first ones to come out and fight Muay Thai from this current team. I've been with Spar about a year and a half, and none of us have competed to my knowledge during this time frame. So me and Evan would be the first. But that said, we got classes going on multiple times a week, and we're training real hard. It's a big group, big classes. I'm talking like maybe like 30 people in a class. So we got a lot of Muay Thai fighters or sparring class. There could be 7 or 10 people, and we're getting good working.
That's awesome, man. That's really good to hear. Who's the coach over there now?
Well, I mean, both Evan and I do some coaching there. I've been kind of working with the competitive team. And the main guy running it is Sean. Blanking on the last name.
Oh man, I threw you under the bus.
I mean, I can check for you if you want. I'm forgetting that last name.
Yeah, like when we're done, we can check it out. And then
Okay.
for anyone that wants to go train with you at Spar, how would they go do it?
Oh, I think I think Spar has its own way with with management there about how they like to let people in. It's kind of a little more scrutiny, I think, with those guys there as far as who they let train. I think there's usually a little bit of a very short. I don't know if you call it interview or something like that, but they don't just say like, hey, come join, sign the papers and come. They kind of, like make sure it's a good group of people that they want to come in.
Mhm.
They like to have a specific attitude, which I think is a really good attitude, which is a really disciplined attitude, and is a very respectful attitude, in my opinion. So, like when, I was training up at WNY MMA Williamsville for a couple years, up with like Mike Scholl and a couple of those guys down there. And then when it closed down, we were like, we could go down to Buffalo where it'd be a bit of a drive and a little bit of a change, or we could hang around Spar, which was, was just on the same block and had a really good vibe that we all liked. So we checked it out, and then we just totally liked it, and been working there. So
That's awesome. I know you guys jiu-jitsu is really taking off there too. I can't even name all the black belts. There's so many black belts there.
yeah,
So like some of my favorite people, Mike T. Schultz and Ashley Hill are there. Like I love those guys to
yeah,
death. They're like two of my favorite people, and a lot of people I love are the gym. Like I know we were never really close, but I've always respected you, and I always liked you too. So I knew that you were at Spar. I didn't really
Hmm.
realize that you're training Ty to come and fight, and that makes me happy, man. I'm excited to see you fight. I was actually wondering if you left Spar when I saw this poster because like man, it's out of the blue that Rich is fighting again, and I was like super pumped to see this. So thank you for coming back to the cage and fighting.
No, thank you. I mean, I remember when I fought I think Jesse Neal, like back in
Yeah.
TNT. You were
Uh-huh.
commentating, and we did like a little interview thing back in 2016. So
Yeah, it was
and we
forever
trained
ago.
together for a couple of years and everything. So all
Yeah,
good
and I
stuff.
was trying to
Yeah.
get you on hard to come on with Todd, and it didn't work out. But like I thought you and Todd together would be really good because you're both pretty respectful. Like Todd's a pretty respectful guy too. I mean, he might get a little bit like a little more like I'm gonna win, but not really because he's super humble too. And like I'd like to have the humble guys together in a show. I don't like to get Ray loves to get the train wreck shows where you got like two guys that are talking shit to each other. But I like it when guys are humble. Like I'd love to have Doyle on with his opponent because they're always very humble. And like I thought you and Todd would make a really great show too. But having you on separately is awesome too because I had so much stuff to ask you. Like I haven't seen you in forever. You're one of my wife's favorite fighters, by the way, too. So
Oh
like
yeah.
she always like hoping that you do really well. So
Cool. Cool.
um when and where fighter's name, please. Richard Zhang is fighting Todd Banks, and it's gonna be at Riverworks. I think I have the poster right here. Yeah, right here. It's gonna be at Riverworks, August 3rd. So you can buy tickets right now online, and if you buy tickets, go to the promo code and click on the link, and then you put in K4 Zang, and then Rich will get credit for the ticket sales that he you guys do. So help out a guy. These guys are all amateurs. They don't get paid to fight. And any ticket sales that they get, that's the only way they make any money. So please, guys, if you're watching this, you can help out Rich. You go K4 Zang when you buy your tickets, and I'll get to him. Or you can go K4 Caveman's Corner, and it can come to me. And then I'm giving away $400 in bonuses again at the fight. So knock on the night's $100. Fight at night, both guys get $100, and then submission night gets $100. So here at Caveman's Corner, we're trying to give back to you guys. So any money that we make, we give that and much more back. So any money that you give the Caveman's Corner buying tickets, it's going to all the fighters anyways. If we make more than 400, we'll give way more than 400. It's not to make any money. So trust me, we're trying to hook you guys up. I will send it to you, Jason, and then I would love that you buy tickets and then spread the word. And since you heard about it on here, I guess give the ticket sales to Rich K4 Zang. I'll send you a message on how to do that as soon as we're off the air. Look at that! I sold you some tickets already, Rich.
I appreciate
Hopefully,
it. I appreciate
yeah.
it.
Everyone always says they're going to buy tickets and then they never do. So make sure that you guys really do buy tickets when you say you're going to. I can't tell you how many times I've been fighting. I've sold tickets, and I got like 60 guys like say, "Oh, I'm gonna buy tickets," and then like, you get 20 out of those 60 people, and you gotta go chase them down too. Like the last thing we want to do is chase you down for tickets. As a fighter, you want your friends to come watch you fight. You know, you can put your heart and your soul into it. You don't want to have to, oh, please come watch me fight. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna go to the fights anyways, you might as well just hook these guys up. It's stupid to make them chase you down.
That
Sorry,
works for
that's my
me.
2 cents.
That works for me.
Evan said you're going home with all the bonuses. I
Let's go.
I gotta say, if he gets submission tonight in a Muay Thai fight, I'll be very impressed. I'm just gonna say that right here. Yeah, I did. I called his only. Yeah, I called his only fight. Me and Sammy, that's awesome, awesome, man. So what else have you been up to, man? I haven't heard from you since COVID. What have you been doing with your life? What are you doing for work? What are you doing? How often are you training? Like, what's your schedule look like?
Just well, right now I'm still at the job that I've always worked, but I'm working full time now. I'm at M&T Bank. I do
Nice.
insurance. Train a couple times a week. Maybe 4, 5, 6 times a week, just depending on other schedule. Maybe work out at the gym a couple times. Trying to coach a little bit more at spar. After the fight, we're going to start. Me and Emma are both going to start being not just kind of like assistant on call sort of instructors or working with competition team, but also starting some fundamentals classes. So we'll be kind of more as regular instructors at spar in August. So
Awesome. So if you guys are interested in getting trained by possibly a K4 champion, make sure that you guys hook up with Rich. You can just message him on Facebook. He'll answer you eventually as long as you message him. How often do you use social media? I haven't seen you post anything in forever.
yeah, I stepped away from Facebook a little bit. I don't know. I kind of got away from, I don't know, just kind of the feeling of always scrolling through Facebook and looking for updates. I'm definitely, available on Messenger. Anyone who messaged me is like, I really appreciate. I love hearing from just about anybody on Messenger. I love getting messages from people I hadn't heard from in months or years, and having a conversation. But as far as looking at people's Facebook pages and stuff like that, I don't really scroll around much, so I don't really post that kind of stuff myself.
Yeah, that's awesome. I kind of do. It kind of comes with this job a little bit, but I'm more the consumer now. Like I put all my content out on there, so hopefully people scroll through and look at Caveman's Corner stuff. Ray's always putting those stupid memes out, so Ray does a lot more of that work than I do. He's got a little bit more time than I do. All my time goes into like watching fights and stuff. But that's super cool. What? All right, I'm gonna go into some tough questions now, so you can answer these however you want. What is your prediction for this fight?
Looking for to be honest, maybe a late finish.
A late finish?
Yeah.
So that if you're gonna get a finish, I'm talking as like an impartial fighter. If you're gonna get a finish, I see it happening in rounds 4 and 5 because no offense to Todd, I know I get on Todd every time about his conditioning, but Todd tends to fatigue near the later rounds, and you've seen it in his more recent fights that he is really starting to turn it up in early rounds, so he doesn't get tired and he's finishing people. How do you think that's going to play into your? Sometimes you start out a little bit slower and you're not matching that pace. Do you think you're going to be able to tire him out, or do you think he's going to wear on you a little bit and land?
I don't know. I watched one of Todd's fights. I'm not sure how recent it was. I think it was either a title fight of some sort with K4. Yeah, I think he ended up finishing the guy in the third. I did notice he slowed down a little bit by the end of that fight. That said, he comes out very strong, good power, good throws. He's solid. I think I trained with Todd before at WNY MMA, if I remember correctly. We worked a little bit. And he was tough as nails back then. And hopefully he's going to jump on Rich. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he will jump, and hopefully I'll be able to defend his very formidable attack.
And then he says weather the storm, so he's being pretty impartial. I do think he is going to try and jump on you right out the jump. He's been doing that quite a bit recently, and he's been having a lot of success with it as well. So how you handle that is gonna determine the fight for me. Like I don't know how to even handicap this fight because I haven't seen you move in years, and I remember how good you were. And you guys have sparred together because he remembers sparring you. He remembers it because, like, when you really remember, like I remember sparring you too because I was like, man, he's hard to hit. So like you got that going into the fight too. I remember that too. I was like, man, I don't know how I would fight Rich if I was really fine. I'd just take you down probably. That would be my goal. I even
Well,
got pulled guard. Whatever
you
we got
had
to
some
do.
good takedowns, right? Against the Caveman, I remember, you know?
Yeah. That's my thing, man. I just push it down. That's exactly what I said to him too. I was like, man, I don't know what I would do in stand up. I just push him on the cage and try and take him down. I mean, he might do that in Muay Thai too. He can sweep you, but you're gonna be able to get right back up. How's
Yeah,
your clinch game?
my clinch game. Well, my clinch game is I've always liked the clinch game, but I've not always preferred the clinch game. To be honest, I kind of expect Todd to clinch. I think he likes that kind of thing. It might be a strategy for him. Um, I know I'm a little taller, so that's an advantage, but he's a little bulkier. He might want to use his strength and his throws and stuff like that.
Yeah, so the clinch is so weird because a tall guy with very good clinch usually can dominate the smaller guy that's stronger, unless like it just depends on like how like in the clinch where you're turning and stuff. Like because the taller guy can usually land the knees better, and then the
Yeah.
shorter guys usually guys that do the quick dumps. You know what I mean? Like so if
Yeah,
you're shorter and
exactly.
stronger, you're gonna hit the quick dump. You're not gonna be hanging out in the clinch. So I'm really excited to see two things in this fight. One, how the first round goes, how you react to his forward pressure, and how he reacts to you, like being long and elusive.
Yeah.
Like you're long and elusive, dude. You're really hard to hit. So like the first round is going to probably be the most exciting round for me because I
Okay.
think by the end of the first round I know who's going to win the fight. You know what I mean? And I think every educated fan will too. Because
Okay.
if you're landing on him and he can't touch you, like you're going to win the fight. If he's landing on you and you can't respond at all, I think he's going to win the fight. And if you and him are pretty even and he's spending a lot of energy and you're not, no offense, Todd, I think he's going to get tired. You know, so like I think the first round is very telling on how this fight is going to go. Like either way, and you're going to see. I honestly think we're going to see who's going to win in the very first round, but I think it's going to be such a technical war. I also
Okay.
want to see if he can kick you in the head, dude. He's had so many good head kicks, but you're so tall. Yeah, I can't imagine him head kicking. He's gonna have to like get a little bit on a step ladder, I think. How
Okay.
tall are you?
I'm about 6'2".
Yeah, so you're a little bit taller than Derek, and Derek's so hard to head kick too. Man, how is your clinch? I don't think I've ever actually been in a Muay Thai clinch with you.
I would say my clinch is pretty good. It's just not my preferred weapon.
I think the only time I've ever clinched is in MMA, and then like when you try to sweep me, I just grab your leg.
Personally, I'm not a guy who really advocates clinch just because I feel like there's a danger there. There's always danger, especially a guy like Todd, who's he's going to be looking to throw his right hooks and his overhand lefts and things from there. I'm sure he'll be trying to muscle the clinch and do big throws and stuff like that. So I'm not sure I'm going to want to hang out there too much with him.
Yeah, I would say that one of Todd's best weapons is the clinch. I've been in the clinch with him quite a bit, and I don't know, his clinch is pretty good. It's not like Keith France style clinch or Tony Viscomi, but it's pretty good. And
Yeah.
I'm interested to see like how it looks with you too. Like your height makes things a little bit different too. Who do you think's got more power?
Hard to say. We'll see at the fight.
So people don't know. Like I'm ruining all your jam, man. People don't know how hard you can hit. I've seen you hit the bag. So if you spar with Rich is like he's a nice guy. So like when you're sparring, he's like not putting full power on. I've seen him hit the bag, and I know how hard he can really hit. And I've seen him fight too, so I know how hard he can hit when he wants to like hit somebody. So like sparring with you and then watching you fight are like two different things. So I was interested to see like a lot of people are coming in saying Todd's got the power advantage, but I don't think they've really seen you like hit things. So I don't mean to throw you under the bus. Like it's my job to sell the fight too. But I think your power is very like, especially your round kick is very heavy, and yours, dude. I keep selling your check hook, but your check hook it hits like a ton of bricks. and you're just whipping it. You're not even like turning your hip or throwing it hard. Like I sometimes I appreciate you not taking my face off with it because I walk into that thing all the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I have pretty good power. I try to be controlled about it. In sparring, definitely not. I remember WNY MMA guys like to throw a little bit harder. At spar, we're a little more controlled. We try to be a little more technical, but definitely when we're hitting the pads, we'll let it go a bit, and I think the power will be there if it needs to be there.
Awesome. He trains with like Felipe Silva, and he trains with a huge cast of guys. And so you train with a huge cast of guys. Do you think this is more a test of two individuals, or is it like you're showing off sparring, he's showing off WNY?
It's definitely a testament to the team and the work we're doing. But this is a fight between me and Todd, not the teams.
Awesome. I like that too. It's like so. I'm super impressed by WNY. So like we were there at a time when Eric Herbert was running it, and Don Lilly, not Todd Lilly, I'm sorry, and like the team was really strong. And then they went through like some turbulent times when Don stepped away, and the fight team kind of fell apart a little bit. Felipe stepped in, and he's kind of like really turned that whole program around. And
Okay.
now like it's a little bit different there now. I haven't been like I'm obviously not there because I got my own place. Um, but like you see them the fighters and they're really just taking over everywhere. Like we were just out in Schenectady. I was just out there last night, and they had two guys fight Ori, and he won by a knockout, and then Malik won a long contest too. Super shout out to both those guys, Ori and Malik, representing out in Schenectady. That's it's a 4.5 hour haul, so it's always good to see Buffalo guys do well out there. Um, so their whole gym is really coming around, and nobody knows about Spar. So I think it'll be super interesting to see how you come out and how you look.
No, it'll definitely be interesting. We're definitely trying to get off on the right foot. Ever since I've been here, I've been kind of trying to, get like a competition team going. We've been running kind of like a competition class a little bit with just, basically me and Evan started, and people started showing up. We're kind of like trying to do a little shift there. It's still not like, I don't think it's the main focus of the gym, but we're going to have that be a regular class in August. And yeah, it should be a good showing.
Awesome. So you said like you said it kind of a little bit of disdain that you don't like that heavy sparring where you guys are trying to kill each other. Do you think that you need the heavy sparring? Do you think you don't need the heavy sparring? Tell me what you think sparring should be for a fight team.
It depends on the level of the fighter. It depends on the style of the fighter. I'm always big on, hey, look, Spar has a very uniform style. I think WNY was a little bit more varied because there's a lot of different fighters of different experiences. When you got guys at different experience levels, they got different styles. They found something that worked for them. So as you start to build competition team, they're going to have different styles. So every sparring session is going to have to be unique to that fighter. That said, I think there should be a certain amount of two things that need to be focused on specifically is defensive skills and control, because whatever you do, it shouldn't turn into a war in sparring, because you want to be there, every week. You want to be there. I like to be there, sparring twice a week. And those guys can swing if they want, but they're getting it. They're getting it. They swing. Otherwise, we'll work. And I'll work defense. And I won't. And I'll land shots that won't put guys out. But if they come after me, it's just a matter of it's a matter of you have to be respectful.
Yeah, my whole take on sparring has changed a lot, especially now that I have a gym. So now I have my guys. We go pretty hard to the legs, pretty hard to the body, and we take care of each other's heads.
Yeah,
we don't
totally
we don't
totally
go to war on the brain. I really do think you need the heavy shots to your legs, and I really do think you need body shots. Like you need to prepare your body, but you're not gonna prepare your mind for getting hit. So like we go like full speed to the body, full speed to the legs, and we try and like not crack each other in the like sometimes you do like every now and then like you're throwing a punch and the guy walks into it. It's hard to like always control. And then like we've really been doing a lot better job of being like just touching up and be like you got me good. Let's reset and let's go back to it. And I really do think that's the best way to spar and to keep it friendly so guys can actually continue sparring and not be hurt all the time. I realized how durable I was because I trained like when I trained we just beat each other up the whole time. That's all we did. Like just round after round after round. I see like guys just fall off, and it's different. You know, like I was just extremely durable. I didn't realize how durable I actually was. I didn't know that, like that's just something I had that like a lot of other people don't. And maybe it's just because I'm so dumb. Like even when I'm super hurt, I just keep training. You know, like that's not an admirable technique, admirable skill. So being being tough is not always good in fighting because they just beat you up more. Being good is much better than being tough, and it took me a really long time to figure that out. Probably longer than it should, but I agree
Okay.
with your philosophy and inspiring now.
I
do
remember back in the
think
day.
he,
Remember back in the day, you would push like nobody else. You just push, push, push.
I still do that now. I still push like super hard. Like I'll just put my hands up and I'll run through people. Like I did it today too. We just had Jamestown in Kinetics. They came in Inspire. We had Armonti Rosati. He's going to Vegas to get some fights in. So we were all training together. Those are all Crew Shaw's guys. He was my original crew in Muay Thai. And like all the Kinetics guys are always welcome to come in. Like it was really good. I'm huge about cross training too. Like I want to be friendly with all the gyms. Next Saturday, I'm going out to South Towns MMA. I'm going to do a little mount seminar out there, and we're going to get some rolls in and stuff too. So anyone that wants to come train with integrity in South Towns, come on out next Saturday at 11:30, and we'll be getting it out there. Quick plug for myself because I got to plug some stuff too.
Of course.
Do you have anything to plug now? I've dropped my plug in there.
Oh, no, I mean, I'm going to be an instructor at SPAR coming up. You know, we're hoping to expand our Muay Thai program, and we're talking about like expanding, in many possible directions. I think there's definitely, I've been doing this for 17 years. I'd love to, do more coaching and stuff like that. I got experience in all sorts of martial arts, but like come check out SPAR. We train real hard and we train real well. I think not just hard. We train technically well, and there's a lot of respect there. So hopefully you guys
awesome. They got great jiu-jitsu too, man. Mike Schultz is there. Ashley Hill is there. Like some really, really good people are there. I keep shouting them out because they come on the podcast all the time. I know there's all kinds of people there. So many good people there. But I just shout them out because they come on the podcast. So like I'm just singling out podcast guys. So I'm not intentionally slighting anyone. I'm just trying to throw some more credit to my podcast guys. So if you want me to throw credit to you, come on the podcast. All the SPAR guys are invited. All the black belts. Anyone from SPAR, so tell them we're all invited to come on the podcast anytime. I'm really trying to grow martial arts in the community. I want everyone to have a great time. So you think you're gonna win by 5th round knockout?
Something like that. Something like that.
All right. I was trying to like steer you right back to the question and be like, yeah, I got him. But Todd's the same way. He wouldn't really answer that question too much either. I don't know if you saw his interview or not, but he's kind of the same way. He's very humble. I'm excited to see this fight. I think this is two very classy individuals, and you guys are going to fight August 3rd. The fight is going to be at Riverworks. It's called Summer Showdown. You can get tickets at riverworks.com/events. If you just go to riverworks.com, the events page will come up in there anyways. You can just click on it. And then for the promo code, after you buy the tickets, it'll ask you for promo code. Click that. Go K4 Zhang, and Richard will get credit for the tickets. If you win the title, are you gonna defend it, or are you looking to move into coaching? Is this like your one last shot, or like I kind of get the feeling that's what you're going the way you're talking.
No, I already got a text from Angelo Castricone. Maybe fighting again in September. I'd love to defend the title, but I'm considering going pro.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna have some guys on that card too, so that'd be awesome. I don't like, so most of my fighters don't fight on K4 because I can't really coach them because I do the commentary. So I don't fight K4. So they're fighting like we were fighting at FCP, and then we'll be fighting at the Castricone show. And Castricone is gonna be a good show. Like it's in Buffalo too, so I like to support Ange. He's an OG of the sport. I know this is a K4 podcast. What's that?
My first fight was at Castricone's many years ago.
Yeah. My first Muay Thai fight was at Castricone's too, and I'm much older than you. So Castricone's been doing this since the 80s, dog. Maybe even the 70s. I had him on the podcast.
What was your first fight?
When was my first fight? Yeah. 1995.
Get out.
Yeah, 1995 at Memorial Auditorium. Yeah, I fought at the Odd.
I almost thought I had you beat. I am nowhere close. Mine was in 2008, you know? Yeah.
No, my first fight was 95, man.
Okay.
No
Wow.
rules, no weight class, MMA, no gloves. Like it was old school. I've been doing this for a very long time, Rich.
Okay. I never would have guessed that you've been fighting that you said your first fight 30 years ago, you know?
Yeah, I'm older than I look. I'm 47, man. So like I'm aged. But I'm like wine, man. I'm just getting better with age all the time.
Oh, you know, I don't doubt that.
That's awesome. And I invite all the K4 guys to come train at Integrity anytime you can. So anytime you can come in, let me know, man. Just come on out and get a good training session in. Bring some friends, whatever you want to do, and we'll get in. I'll make sure Todd's not there if you're coming to train too. I won't have you guys like coming at the same time.
Okay.
Todd comes in every now and then and trains with me too. Like,
Oh, does he? Okay.
yeah, every now and then. He's like at WNY. He came in like twice now. He came in before his last fight. He brought his girlfriend, so it was kind of cool. Him and his girlfriend came and trained. They're good people, man. He's a really good guy, and I think you're a really good guy too. And I wouldn't try and have you both on the same podcast if I didn't think you guys are like really good people. I think we're talking about this offline and not online. I don't want to have like a shit show podcast. Like it's to make the fighters look good and sell the fights. I don't think it looks good unless there's some or whatever wherever the Indianapolis guys are from. Unless those guys are on, then we don't like them. We can talk shit about them. But I like two respectful guys talking to each other. I think it's really good for the sport and really helps sell the sport because we're selling Muay Thai is an honorable sport. It's all about honor and respect for each other. And I think that's great that you guys exhibit that.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I wish I could have gotten a chance to do what you want to with both of us here. It's just and he told me like last Sunday, like, hey, can you be on this afternoon? And I was like, oh, I was a little busy today, you know. It didn't.
Yeah, no,
really
I
go on
understand.
right away, you know. So
That was totally my fault. So normally Ray books the shows, and Ray had a guy, and then we lost the guy. So like, oh, we'll grab Rich and Todd, and we'll just do that one. That'll be a great podcast, anyways. And like it didn't work out for you, so we got Todd, and I got you this week. And Ray's not able to make it this week, so we'll be able to do our other podcast next week. It's K4 time, anyways. It's gonna be all K4 guys for the next little bit. But welcome back to the mix, man. I can't
thank
wait
you.
to see the fight. I'm super excited. Anything you want to tell everyone before we get out here?
Yeah, just everyone come. I think it should be a good show. A lot of respect for Todd. You know, back when we trained, I think it was maybe like 2022. You know, seen recently he's doing very well. Is he undefeated? He's a champion.
Yes, he's undefeated
Yeah.
now. He's 6-0.
So, so all right. So hopefully I can do something about that.
Yeah, so if you beat the guy, dude, that's a lot of credit for you too. You know what I mean? Like he's not easy for anybody. He's very well put together. I would say probably the only weakness Todd has really is his conditioning, and I think that you can exploit that one for sure. And I do think he's good in the clinch. I think he's great at range, but I think you're taller, and I think he's going to have to chase you a lot. And I think it's going to be a very, very technical fight. I don't think this is going to be a fight where the fans are like, ah! But I do think it's going to be a fight where like, ooh. You know, there's going to be a lot of those moments where like
yeah,
you step out,
like that
you
kind
crack
of
him or he gets you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the kind of fight to expect. It's not going to be two guys like just punching each other in the face. It's going to be a lot of slick movements, a lot of in and out, a lot of angles, and hopefully not a lot of sweeps from Todd for you, or hopefully some sweeps from you. Like, you know, like you're the guest, so I got to like root for you this time. But
okay. All right.
yeah, I want to see a great fight. I think it's going to be a lot of clean technique between you two, and I'm really excited to see it. When I saw this one, I was like, ooh. So I did the write up right away, and there's quite a few more fights announced. So I got some more write ups coming. We'll do some more podcasts from now till August 3rd. Keep an eye on Caveman's Corner. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to click like and subscribe. We finally passed 3,000 subscribers. So let's push on to 5,000. 5,000 is our next goal. Let's get up to 5,000. And let's really roll with this YouTube thing. And thank you everyone for watching, and thank you so much for your time, Rich.
All right. Thanks, Jonathan. Good to see you, man.
All right. And we're out.
Okay. Bye.
Peace.